Today we're talking about victim shaming. Unfortunately, we live in a world where I can't simply find the person who's shaming the victim and break their legs. Richard is sad. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about victim shaming, and I, of course, being fat and naked, am therefore making a naked vlog. For the naked truth, because, yeah. Anyway, here's the thing. Victim shaming is when a victim comes forward, talks about something that's happened to them, and somebody shames that victim. And we are specifically discussing not victim shaming itself, but how I personally have addressed victim shaming in my life. Okie dokie. So, here's the thing that happened to me a couple years ago. I posted a video where I mentioned my karate education and how one of my teachers had blown up when I asked him which one of the electives was most likely to get me a job. And somebody came out and said, "That's your fault for choosing that major." So at this point, he was victim shaming. I am a victim. I have now paid for something, essentially been swindled, and this person is telling me that it is my fault. So, what did I do? Well, I infected this person with knowledge. I said, first of all, I paid for a service. I have a right to that service given to me in a professional manner. The professor in question was not being professional, therefore their behavior was inappropriate. Secondly speaking, I was going for technical theater, meaning I was supposed to be the guy that built the sets, put up the lights, and ran the sound. These people generally make about 45 grand a year once they graduate from college, just not if they graduate from my college where the education is essentially crap. So here is that thing. I explain this to that person, and they stop talking. Normally when you respond to a troll, they keep trolling you, but this person was like, eh. So it's one of those things. You start hitting them with facts. That's a really good way to address people who are shaming the victim. Now, of course, shaming the victim is something we do essentially, from my studies in psychology. People have said we shame the victim to say it's not going to happen to us. And, again, this is a terrible way of dealing with things. So you have to say, hey, look, don't shame the victim. Shaming them is not going to help the situation. And often, like for example, when a woman is sexually assaulted, you will then have to talk to their family and say, hey, look, certain things you better not do when you talk to your family member. You need to be supportive and you need to be helpful. Whatever you do, don't ask them what they were wearing and don't say anything that would imply that somehow this is their fault. Because guess what? Sexual predators don't care. Or, maybe they're drunk and did something stupid. Either way, they're not thinking of what this person is wearing. That is a myth that you can wear clothing and this clothing gets you sexually assaulted. So that's one of those things that happens. And there's another commonality is that people say, well, you should have been stronger. I had an issue with work recently, and that's why I filled out an unemployment application despite the fact that I am not unemployed. I'm still working for this company, but I got into it with one of the managers who didn't speak enough English to understand the situation. And he's like, where are you? Why aren't you at work? I was like, look, the boss, the person who's paying us, sent me home. Because they sent me home, I cannot be at work. If I'm at work after he sends me home, then he's going to get upset because I can get hurt. Guy didn't understand English. And because, of course, I challenged somebody who, well, let's just say he looks too much like the boss, I am now not working. This is a common problem in the security industry. Believe me, human rights violations are very, very, very common in America. Workers' rights violations are so common in America that we have been compared to Iraq in terms of how bad our workers' rights are. So just think about that. Iraq. I believe Iraq is technically a second world country, meaning that they fell under the communist regime. But yeah, one of the most dangerous places in the world, and everybody there needs work and risks dying by going to work every day, and we're doing as bad as them. What this is generally referring to is it's a tribal mentality. The concept of the tribal mentality is, yeah, if you're at work and you are having a bad time, then your tribe should basically come out and say, no, don't work for them. We'll take care of you until you do something else. In the meantime, you come and you do the dishes and you take care of the children or whatever. Unfortunately, we don't have that mentality in the modern day. People don't stick together properly as a tribe, and there are too many general members. So, you should probably at that point, well, again, we infect truth, like saying, hey, you know what? You're shaming me for being the victim. You're telling me I should do this, that, and the other thing, but look, this is the modern world. We all need jobs, and what you're telling me to do is going to make it harder for me to get another job or take away from the time I'm spending on my job search. It's one of those things. Look, this is coming from a guy who is being encouraged by a nun, a Catholic nun, to sue a homeless shelter. Yeah. Rights violations are so bad at a place I worked that took care of the homeless that I am being encouraged by a nun to file a lawsuit against a homeless shelter. That is how bad human workers' rights violations are in America. But hey, we all need jobs, so the people think they can get away with it. Personally, I don't know how this is going to get solved. There are just too many Americans. We're not going to get manufacturing back in this country unless the Chinese workforce disappears. Or perhaps maybe, a plague ravages America, kills off 20% of our population, and the people that are left finally get jobs. It's one of those things. So yeah, it's a hard situation, and I've gone off on a very, very strange tangent. Anyway, I hope I've been informative. Please comment in the comments below and let me know how informative I've been. Maybe throw a like or a subscription there, and yeah, peace out. I'm Richard. Oh yes, and I just forgot. No, I just remembered. Right. These naked vlogs are brought to you by Trisha Hirschberger, who chooses her topics. If you want to make your own naked vlog, please do it without showing naughty bits, unless you're over 18, hot, and just want me to see. But you can visit Trisha Hirschberger's channel and see what she has for rules, and if you're under 18, ask your parents for permission, something like that. Yeah, just watch her video and look at the rules. Unless you're hot female and under 18, then you can send me a nudie video that's just for me. No, like that's ever gonna happen. Anyway, as I said before, peace, I'm Richard.